The scorching sun hung low over the dense jungles of Santara, a small nation locked in the throes of a civil war no one outside its borders seemed to care about. Major Jack Mercer squinted against the glare, his chopper slicing through the humid air as they neared the drop zone. His heart thudded steadily, a familiar rhythm of controlled tension. The mission was simple on paper: infiltrate, extract, and get out. But nothing was ever simple in a place like Santara. Below, through the thick canopy of trees, Mercer spotted flashes of movement, shadows slipping in and out of the foliage. Guerrilla forces likely setting up traps. His comms crackled to life. "Mercer, we're 10 clicks out from target coordinates. We'll have to drop you in early." "LZ's too hot," came the voice of Captain Rios, the squad's helicopter pilot. Jack nodded grimly, looking to the 4 men beside him, their faces tense with anticipation. His team, codenamed Spectre, was an elite special operations unit, known for going where others wouldn't. Each man was hardened by years of combat, but even they knew that this mission was different. Deep in the heart of Santara, beyond enemy lines, was a biochemical facility rumoured to be working on a weapon capable of causing catastrophic damage, something far deadlier than bullets or bombs. "All right, Spectre," Jack barked, unbuckling his harness. "We're going in hot. Stick to the plan, keep it tight, and no one breaks rank. We extract the package, then get the hell out. Let's move." The chopper hovered above a small clearing, and one by one, the team rappelled down ropes into the sweltering jungle. The sounds of rotors faded as the chopper sped off, leaving them in the suffocating quiet of the jungle. Jack signaled for the team to fan out, his instincts on high alert. They moved swiftly through the underbrush, avoiding traps and checkpoints. The intelligence was clear. An arms dealer named Marcos Reyes, known as El Fuego, had secured a contract with a shadowy organization to create a chemical weapon. Their objective: capture Reyes alive, destroy the facility, and recover any data on the weapon. But there was a catch. Word had it that Reyes wasn't alone. A private military group had been hired to guard the facility, ex-soldiers turned mercenaries with enough firepower to level a city. Jack's mind flashed back to the briefing. This wasn't just a rescue mission. It was a race against time. The weapon, codenamed Red Horizon, could be unleashed at any moment. As the team pushed deeper into the jungle, the atmosphere grew tense. The humidity pressed in on them, making every step feel heavier. Jack led the way, his eyes scanning for threats, but his thoughts were racing. Santara wasn't just another mission for him. He'd been here before, years ago. The ghost of that operation haunted him still, the day his old team was ambushed, leaving only him alive. The same guerrilla forces that hunted him then were still lurking in these jungles now. Suddenly, the silence was shattered by the crack of gunfire. "Contact!" shouted Logan, the team's sniper, as a hail of bullets tore through the trees. Spectre hit the ground, rolling into cover as insurgents poured out of the jungle, firing wildly. Jack raised his rifle, returning fire with precise, measured shots. "Hold position! We've got to punch through!" Amidst the chaos, Jack noticed something strong. These guerrilla fighters weren't just locals. They were well-equipped, moving with military precision. The mercenaries had found them first. "Mercs in the trees, they've got high ground," Logan called out. "Take them out," Jack shouted. He fired a round, dropping one of the mercenaries from a tree perch. But the enemy forces kept advancing, forcing Spectre to fall back into thicker jungle. They couldn't risk getting pinned down. As the firefight raged on, Jack's comm crackled. "Major Mercer, this is command. Satellite recon just pinged a convoy heading towards the facility. You've got limited time to extract. Get to the target, now." They had to move, fast. "Fall back to secondary route. We're cutting through," Jack ordered. The team regrouped, moving swiftly through the jungle, but the enemy was relentless, closing in from all sides. Spectre fought their way to a ridge overlooking a massive concrete structure, the facility. It looked like an abandoned warehouse from the outside, but Jack knew better. That was where Reyes was hiding. "We're almost there," said Harper, Spectre's demolition expert, breathless as they hunkered down behind rocks. "But we've got a problem." Jack peered through his binoculars. More mercenaries. A small army of them, heavily armed and stationed at every possible entrance. "We need a distraction," Jack muttered. He scanned the area, mind racing. Then an idea hit him. "Harper, rig the explosives. We'll take the South Tower first. It'll draw their attention." Harper nodded, setting up charges. As the countdown began, the team prepared to make their move. Jack knew they had one shot at this. The explosives detonated, shaking the ground and sending debris flying into the air. Alarms blared, and the mercenaries rushed to respond. "Go, go, go!" Jack yelled, leading his team in a full sprint toward the facility's southern entrance, dodging gunfire as they moved. Inside, the halls were dimly lit, the air thick with tension. Jack motioned for silence, his grip tight on his rifle. They had to find Reyes before the mercs regrouped. Every second counted. Suddenly, from around the corner, a door swung open. Jack raised his weapon ready to fire, but froze. It was Reyes, a tall man in a sleek suit, flanked by two heavily armed guards. His cold, calculating eyes met Jack's. "You're too late, Major," Reyes sneered. "The world will burn before you can stop me." Jack lunged, taking out one of Reyes's guards with a swift shot to the chest. The second guard fired back, but Logan's bullet found its mark, dropping him instantly. Reyes bolted down the hallway, disappearing into the shadows. "After him!" Jack growled. They chased Reyes through the labyrinth of the facility, moving deeper underground. The walls were lined with lab equipment, tanks of chemicals, and stacks of crates labeled Red Horizon in bold red lettering. They finally cornered Reyes in the control room. He stood before a control panel, his finger hovering over a large red button. "You don't understand," Reyes barked. "This isn't just a weapon, it's leverage. I can control nations with this." "Not today," Jack said coldly, stepping forward, his gun trained on Reyes. But before Jack could fire, Reyes slammed his hand down on the button. Alarms blared, and a massive countdown timer appeared on the screens, 10 minutes to launch. The facility shook violently as the release sequence initiated. Chemical warheads loaded onto hidden missile silos began priming for launch. Jack's blood ran cold. If they didn't stop it, the Red Horizon virus would spread across the globe. "Logan, Harper, get to the control panel, shut it down," Jack ordered, while Reyes lunged at him in a desperate attempt to escape. The two men grappled, trading heavy blows as the countdown ticked away. Jack slammed Reyes against a console, pinning him down. "Tell me how to stop the launch," he demanded. Reyes grinned through bloodied teeth. "You can't!" With a final surge of strength, Jack knocked Reyes out cold and handcuffed him to a railing. "We'll see about that." Harper and Logan worked furiously at the control panel, but the system was locked. "It's encrypted! We need the access code!" Harper shouted. Jack glared at the unconscious Reyes, then scanned the room. There, on the far wall, a manual override switch. He bolted toward it, dodging sparks from overloaded circuits. With seconds ticking away, Jack yanked open the panel, revealing a complex set of levers and wires. His heart pounded. One wrong move, and he could trigger the launch sequence manually. "Harper, Logan, guide me through this!" Jack yelled, sweat dripping down his forehead. "Cut the blue wire first, then flip the second switch on the left," Harper shouted from across the room, his fingers flying over the keyboard as he tried to disable the system. Jack followed the instructions, his hands steady despite the chaos around him. The countdown had reached 4 minutes. He quickly cut the wire and flipped the switch, but nothing happened. "It's still active. What now?" Jack barked, his eyes scanning the complex circuitry. "There's one more failsafe," Logan called, his sniper instincts kicking in as he surveyed the room. "Look for the secondary control panel. There should be a key." Jack's gaze darted to Reyes, who was regaining consciousness, a smug smile creeping onto his face. "The key!" Jack growled, grabbing Reyes by the collar. "Where is it?" Reyes only laughed weakly, his breath labored. "You'll never find it in time." Jack's fist connected with Reyes's jaw, snapping his head back. Not in the mood for games, Reyes. With 2 minutes left on the clock, Harper's eyes lit up. Jack, I think I've got something. There's a secondary panel behind the storage crates. It should have the key slot. Jack sprinted across the room, shoving aside the crates. There it was, a small control panel with a key slot, blinking ominously. But Reyes wasn't finished yet. You'll need the key, Major, Reyes taunted, blood trickling down his face. Too bad it's hidden in a place you'll never reach. Jack's eyes darted toward Reyes's suit pocket. Without hesitation, he reached in and pulled out a small silver key. Looks like I just did, Jack muttered, racing back to the control panel. With 1 minute left, he jammed the key into the slot and turned it. For a brief moment, the alarms stopped and the lights flickered. Is it over? Logan asked, his rifle still trained on the unconscious guards. But then, the timer surged back to life. 30 seconds. It's a trap, Harper shouted. The key was a decoy. Reyes locked us into the final sequence. Jack's mind raced. They were out of time. He couldn't disable the system from inside the facility. The only way to stop the launch now was to destroy the entire control room, blow it sky high. Harper, set the charges on the reactor core, Jack ordered, his voice steady despite the chaos. We're blowing this place. Copy that, Harper responded, already moving. With mere seconds left, Harper planted the explosives, the beeping of the charges syncing up with the relentless countdown. Jack and his team raced toward the exit, dragging Reyes behind them. 5 seconds! Harper yelled as they burst out of the facility's entrance, running for cover. The ground shook violently as the explosives detonated, sending a massive fireball into the sky. The shockwave knocked them off their feet, the sound of the explosion deafening as the control room, and with it, the Red Horizon weapon was obliterated. Jack lay on the ground, breathing heavily, his vision blurred from the blast. Slowly, he pushed himself up, his ears ringing. The facility was gone, nothing but smoking ruins in its place. The threat of Red Horizon had been neutralized. He looked around at his team, all of them battered but alive. Harper gave a thumbs up from where he lay, while Logan reloaded his rifle, ever vigilant. Jack's eyes fell on Reyes, who was lying unconscious, still bound. He'd lived to face justice, but his empire of terror was finished. Captain Rios's voice crackled over the comms, cutting through the haze. Spectre, this is command. Choppers en route for extraction. Hell of a fireworks show you boys just pulled off. Is the package secure? Jack glanced at Reyes, then wiped the sweat and dirt from his brow. Package secure. Red Horizon is no longer a threat. As the distant sound of rotor blades echoed in the sky, Jack allowed himself a brief moment of relief. It wasn't over. There would always be another mission, another fight. But for now, they had won. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If this story resonated with you, please like and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring and heartfelt content. Stay tuned for more stories that uplift and inspire. Your support helps us continue sharing these meaningful stories. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next story.